Good morning, good morning. Okay, one quick moment. So, couple things here. Let me pull up my comments first. As you can see, I have all of our supplies sitting in front of me. I'm going to make sure we've got everything we need for this morning. And let's get our light on. That would be good. How many of you are running behind this morning? I know I feel like I am. I know there's something that I did not do for this morning, so I'm going to have to do it on the live. So we will walk through this together. Okay. So good morning, good morning. As you're hopping on, go ahead and say hello. Okay, I found you. We're good to go. All right. So starting off, at the end of this live, we will be doing the spin the wheel for our hashtag weekly challenge. So you will want to check in with that. I wanted to just double check. So my phone did not charge again. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but it is having troubles charging lately. So I think I'm going to have to buy a new cord for it, is what I think is happening. So we're going to do our best with what we have. I'm going to go ahead and hook you to the charger, and I will have to pull it off at some point so we don't overheat, because that is a thing as well. All right, well, good morning. So this morning is day 2. Today we are going to do our hidden twine closure that's going to hold all of your pages into your book. We created this part of it yesterday, and today we're going to go to step 2. That's always the fun part, right? All right, let me put my coffee down. Sorry, it's going to be one of those days. So things you will need for today. Number 1, you will need twine. You need a thicker twine. Please do not try to do it with the thin twine unless you've done like several strings of it together, because this will in fact rip through your page. So you do want to take and do a thicker twine. So that is number 1. Number 2, you're going to need a bone folder, credit card, or Cricut scraper. Something of that nature will be very helpful today. Next, you will probably need a pen. I usually keep one at my desk in the event that I need to mark something. Of course, your scissors are always helpful. They're good with helping us cut different things like your twine and so on and so forth. You're probably going to need some double-sided tape if you want to go this route. If you do not, you can just use your glue. Now, I use this little bottle, but it is filled with the pH neutral PVA. This is in our Amazon shop. You can also find it just straight up in Amazon. If you need the link for this, please write link down in the comments. All right, so I think we're pretty much ready to go this morning. You will need your cover from yesterday, okay, and that very first page that we cut together yesterday. Now, I was a little bit of a dope and I did not get my pages cut, so we will be doing that together. Something else you will need is some paper, okay? This is what I call a texture pack. Textures packs can be any type of added texture that you add to your junk journal. So what I am adding today is I'm adding 2 pages of our coffee stained book pages. I'm doing 2 coffee stained rice paper. I will be adding 2 different pieces of tissue paper, 1 bag, 2 pieces of white rice paper, and there will be 2 pieces because we're going to cut this, but this is going to be 2 pieces of pattern paper, 2 pieces of a different rice paper, and lastly 2 dryer sheets. Now you will see the theme here is the number 2. The reason there are 2 is because we are going to be doing 2 signatures. Now what is a signature? A signature is basically your pages. It's what goes in with your pages as well. So it would be like my texture pack with the pages. Something else you will need will be your leftovers from yesterday, from day 1, and you will want to keep these throughout the next few days, okay? The last thing that you will need is you will need your printables that are the full size. I call these your full size scrapbook papers. There were 5 of them included in your downloads. These are also the same pages that I had to print. 1 set on the 110-pound paper, and then 1 set on the back of your regular HP paper that looked like pages. That way you had a beautiful background every time, okay? So that is what those were for. Now this is where I said I was a dope. I'm a complete dope in the fact that I said we needed to have these cut for today, and lo and behold, we had a full day yesterday. My son Ben came up and helped my husband with our yards, and they did the front and back of the yards, but we need to have these cut. So while I'm talking to you, I'm going to be cutting 1/8 of an inch all the way around, so I have this little white line, okay? So as you're hopping on, please say hello, but I'm going to quickly do that, and I do apologize. I had meant to have this done earlier, but as you can tell, it did not happen. But life is good. Everything's going well. Inside of the VIP group, if you are new to me and you're looking for the pages to create this book, you need to go to VIP Creating with Linda group. That is where you will find all of your printables, all of these things that we are using. They are free. There's no cost at all. And, you know, basically, you're not too far behind because you have the whole entire weekend to go back and rewatch yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Isn't that cute? And you will be able to catch up over the weekend. So if you feel like you don't have enough time, you actually have the full weekend to get caught up and be with us for Monday of next week, okay? So you still have one more day for this week. Yesterday we created the cover of our book. Today we are putting in our signatures. Tomorrow we will start some of the ephemera, and we'll go over all the things that you will need for tomorrow. And then on next week, starting Tuesday and Wednesday, we will create more items to put inside of our books, as well as the completion. So you will have a complete junk journal by the time you are done. So lots of fun. If you are joining me right now, go ahead and say hello. I can see the little bubbles. I can't see who's there because I'm sitting back a little bit from my tablet so that I can cut this. But no, life is good. I do want to point out, this morning I woke up and had a little startle. As many of you have seen, and a lot of creators have had problems with the SCAMers. I don't use that word on a live because for whatever reason, it seems to trigger some unhappiness. So we try not to do that. But I want to just tell you, I did give you some tips as to how to avoid them, what to watch for. And ultimately, you need to know that Facebook will never send you a link directly to your Facebook page. They might send it to your email, but I caution anybody for touching any links in your email. My suggestion to you is if you get that email that says, hey, yo, you've got a problem on your page, we're going to delete you. I want you to make sure that you do not press any links. Go back to your Better Business Suite. Look at your And that is not what you're on right now. You're not on a Meta Business Suite. You're on your Facebook. But go into your Meta Business Suite and take and look at the notifications in there. And if you are not sure, always go to the chat inside of the Meta Business Suite and talk to the support. They happen to be the most wonderful people. It may take a little while out of your day to fix things. I will be honest with you. I feel like it does take some time to fix things, but I will tell you firsthand, I've dealt with them many, many times, and they are always very helpful, very, very educated, as far as they seem to have good answers, and if they can't figure it out, they're always willing to ask somebody who does. Okay, so don't ever click any links inside of Facebook if you do not know exactly where it came from, because it can cost you your page. And we all work very hard to do this, right? So that is just my little heads up from me to you. My little business spiel this morning, because it's been a while since I've had one of those creep up on my page, and I thought, whoa, what is this? And of course, you always get that little startle feeling when it happens, because, you know, we work hard for our pages, right? We work hard bringing everybody good stuff, and the last thing you want is to lose that. I'm just making sure I have the right side up. So I do apologize for having to do this live, but you're probably doing yours too, so, or have already done it. So lots of fun. Good morning, I see you there. So right now I am just going through and adding a 1-inch cut, leaving a little bit of my white around each page. Now you do not have to do that. If you are somebody that you don't like that white, you can actually take and cut it all the way to the edge. You can even ink up the edges of every one of your pages. Now, I am not doing that because when I'm teaching it to you, I give you the options of things that you can do, but most of the time I try to stick with things that everybody has in front of them. Okay, that's why I do these Create With Me, is so that nobody feels left out. Now, there are times, like, for instance, my texture pack, okay? There are times where when I'm adding things like that, I do give you options that you can go find within your home and put in yours, okay? Or I will offer a pack and give you a way to get that, okay? So we're almost done here with cutting all of these pages. As you can see, I've got a good little pile over here of the outer edge. I did print these as fit to page. I try to do that every time we do these kind of things so that you have a similar model in front of you. I realize our computers and our printers are all slightly different, and so just keep that in mind as you're building yours. Now I only have a few more pages to go here, or at least that's what it looks like. Every one of these were printed on HP premium paper. I did our pages, the same downloads I gave you. I printed those first, and then I turned them so that everything was right side up, and then I put back through the printer. I went, making sure this is right side up. Then I went back through the printer and did the back full pages like this, the full pages that I'm calling scrapbook paper, on the back. So you're going to have those as a 110-pound paper, the scrapbook paper. You're going to print those big ones on those first, just one copy of each one, and then you're going to do your pages on HP paper. This is regular office paper, where you do the pages on one side and that big page on the back, and you can alternate them. I did go over how to do all of that last Friday, as well as all of your pages and everything, how to cut and what items to have together for what day. We did that on Friday of last week. So if you are brand new hopping in now, I do my best to give you a little heads up every day. So at 1 o'clock today, you will have a post inside the group as well as on this page that will tell you the items you need for tomorrow. But I did do a full live on Friday of last week on the breakdown of everything, so you could be already ready if you wanted to go ahead. Most importantly, at the end of today, we will talk about what you need for tomorrow, because some of your ephemera will need to be pre-cut for tomorrow. And I will have mine pre-cut by tomorrow. These, I forgot. I know. It's never good when the person pulling it is the one that was behind, right? But at least it gives you a little bit of extra time to pull yours together. All right. So you're literally seeing exactly what you need. Look at all of this is paper that will go into my recycle bin, and those will be used at a later time as scraps. All right. So this is what your pile should look like about now. You will have all of your pages pre-cut. I did, like I said, I left that little white border all around them. Now, the only other thing that you have to cut is your texture pack, okay? So I showed you my texture pack just a few minutes ago. We walked through what is here. Now, the only thing you have to cut at this point is the height, okay? Don't worry about the width of your texture pack, because that is something we're going to do once it's in the book. I'm going to walk you through how to do it to make it have a little excess. Hey there. Hi, Kelvy and Mel's Crafting Corner. Hello, ladies. So you have your pages. You have your book from yesterday, okay? Now, before you cut these, before you cut them, you can use anything, okay? I went through what I have here, but you can go get book pages, you can get invoices, pull pieces out of magazines. We get these little magazines at the grocery store that just have little recipes and things. You can rip those apart. You can do newspaper. This is just discarded tissue paper, rice paper, pattern paper. Maybe you have an old pattern that can also go in. And then I have more rice paper, and lastly, used dryer sheets. Now, I loved using used dryer sheets. I'm fighting some allergies this morning, so my voice is a little funny, so I apologize. Something else you can put in your junk journal is you can put in paper bag, or even, you know, I'm only going to do one paper bag, even though I'm doing 2 signatures. This will be inside of my book as well. You can also use envelopes, packing paper, printed posters you can cut down, and scrapbook paper, okay? So you can use an assortment of what you have. I did show you guys on, I believe it was June 9th, I went over how to dye your paper. I showed it last week, or it might have been the week before. That was June 9th. But I did walk through exactly how I made these, and that is exactly what I'm using in my book. Also, at that time, I showed you some snippets and some coffee stain snippets on the 10th. So if you go back to June 9th and 10th, you will see some of the snippets that I made, and it'll show you how to create that version of paper. Okay, so it's just something fun. Facebook does delete our videos, so all of these videos from this week, I will start transferring over to YouTube. You'll have access to them here for 30 days, but then they'll be in YouTube, and I will let you know come Monday whether or not I got that done. Okay, so just know that. All right, so again, let's go back. So you've got your book You've got your book from yesterday. You've got your pages cut with a 1/16 to 1/8 white around the outer edge. I did 1/8 on mine. So now you're going to grab hold of your pieces that you are going to use in your book. And we need to cut these to the height of our book. Okay. So if you go back to yesterday, you will know that the height of our book ended up being 7 1/4 by 7 inches by 4 3/4 was our pages. I'm just going to confirm that because we don't want to screw that up. Okay, this is important not to screw this up. So yes, my pages are 7 inches tall. Okay, 7 inches tall. Now you're going to want to check yours because sometimes printers can be finicky. They're all different, you know, so if your pages are slightly different, I did explain to you yesterday how to adjust all of our measurements for everything as we went along. So whatever your height is of your page is what you're going to cut the height of these pages. Okay. So let's start off with our book pages. So as you can see, these book pages, you could put them into your book and fold them this way and have little pages in between, or you can choose to fold them this way and put them in. In my book, I am going to fold them in half. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of those pages. My third page I'm going to set aside. Those will be used at a later time. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want these to be folded in half in my book. So I'm going to start with folding them in half. Now, what you need to know is, and you can use your bone folder or you can fold them yourself or you can use your score line. It's okay. These pages were out of a Shakespeare book, so they were already a little brittle. So I really want to be careful in not using the score for this. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold those 2 in half. Now, as you are doing this, you want to keep them together. Don't worry about this side of the paper. Worry about the height. If they're shorter than that 7-inch top to bottom page, then don't worry about anything else. Set it aside. Let's do that again. Now I've already folded these 2 in half. These are my, these are both, I can't talk today, coffee stained rice paper. So I'm going to go ahead and make these 7 inches in height. And you can choose, like if you don't want to fold them directly in the center, maybe you want to fold them a little over, you can do that too. But for today's purposes, I just folded everything in half. I'm going to go ahead and go to 7 inches. Here is where they're folded. Okay. Here is where I'm going to 7 inches. And because they are a little brittle, I'm going to start in the middle and push out, lift, come back to the middle, push down. That ensures that nothing is going to get wrinkled. Okay, save any extras today because we will need them. Okay, so there is my 7-inch pages. Make sure one more time. Yeah, we're good. So those are my 7-inch pages. So I'm going to put that off to the side as well. My next 2 papers that I'm going to be using are these recycled tissue paper. Okay, now you're going to notice right off the bat that this paper is really thin, right? It's really thin. And so one of the beautiful things though is you can use recycled paper inside of your junk journals and they make beautiful contrasts. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that they are folded in half because these are fairly large. Let's do one at a time. Okay. So I'm going to fold this baby in half first. It is much easier to do it with nothing else underneath it. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that the tops and the sides, because it was already folded, it's going to give me a little bit of an issue, but it will be fine. Okay. All right. So I have the first page, right? Which gives me 2. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half, and then I just want to see, because sometimes you can get away with just running it through. So I'm just going to kind of look and eyeball whether or not it's close. And that is like dead on 7 inches. I'm golden, okay? Which means it's going to give me 2 full sheets, all right? So let's start with that. So where my edge is, where's the folded edge is, we're going to turn it sideways. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut off this portion here. I want to make sure, let me think about that a minute. Because you want your page to, the height of it to be 7 inches. Don't worry about the rest. So if I wanted this page, I first need to know that it's 7 inches, which mine is, so I'm good there. I don't have to worry about that. So because I'm doing 2 of them, I'm going to go ahead in my case and I'm going to open it and just, I'm going to cut it right at 7 inches because I'm going to make 2 of these and we're going to need that full length. So once again, I'm going to start from the middle and push out, lift gently, and push again. That way nothing gets ringed up. We don't want it messed up, okay? Now, where it folds, this from the top to the bottom needs to be 7 inches. Don't worry about the width. So it is. So if I put this in my book and close it, it is 7 inches from top to bottom. So I'm good with that one. I'm going to double check my size on this one, and I'm good on this one. Okay, so I have 2 pages of my tissue paper. Let's do that again. Hopefully clearer than mud, right? Hopefully clearer than mud. So again, I'm looking at the pages. I want to make sure, I just want to see this one here was folded nicely. It is 7 inches. So once again, I'm just going to cut mine in half because I need 2 of them at 7 inches. Once again, starting in the middle, going out, lift gently, and to the bottom. That creates a page that is folded in half of at least 7 inches. Now, if you're using it and you have a smaller piece, don't worry about cutting it. Just fold it in half, okay? We're going to get to the rest of that in a minute, okay? So again, I now have, we're good. We're at 7 inches. And again, it opens. Don't worry about the width. The width is non-worried right now. We're not worried about that. All right, so now I have 2 pieces of, these are rice paper. So I'm just going to, again, check it. So this piece here is very, very big. So we're going to start with moving it to 7 inches. Once again, to the middle. Rice paper is very delicate. Sometimes it rips when you do this. So you're going to press down and slide it. Now I want to show you, see what happened? This is often what happens with rice paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of mark it on both sides with my little guy here and use that as a guide. And I'm just going to cut this one apart. Rice paper is like multi-textured, and when you run it through your trimmer, oftentimes it will tear, okay? If you are not worried about that tear, then you're good. I do want it a little bit cleaner, so I'm going to just remove some of the height of it, like so, okay? Don't worry about the width. Again, we're not worried about the width. We're only worried about the height, okay? So I know that I need to cut some of it off, so I'm going to go ahead and do the second one with just my scissors because rice paper can do some crazy things. But the nice thing is it also gives you some beautiful textures. So it's something that you definitely want to try. Okay, any extras? Again, I'm saving my extras off to the side. All right. So once again, pattern paper is not going to work well in your trimmers. So the easiest thing to do if you are going to use this is to take and fold it in half. Now, I only have one sheet of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up and I'm going to cut this piece in half. Now, pattern paper, use your material scissors, not your paper scissors, for pattern paper and for your dryer sheets. You'll get a nicer cut, okay? So I folded it in half to create a crease line to follow, okay? And now I'm going to fold it in half the other direction. Okay. So again, it's going to be smaller and that's okay. But what's important here is that it is not any longer. That is exactly 7 inches in height. It opens up and I'm good. Okay. So it's going to be a skinnier sheet, but we're only worried about top to bottom. Let's check this one. I've got little papers on it. Again, folding it in half. Make sure you have a good crease line. It doesn't have to be perfect. See how it's kind of off? Don't worry about that. You know, if it's not straight, don't worry about it. Do make sure you have a good crease line though, okay? So again, height-wise, I'm good. I'm under 7 inches, just slightly, and it is about 4 3/4 wide, okay? So no worries, it's folded, we're happy. All right, I have 2 more pieces here. This is also rice paper. I'm only gonna check to make sure that it is 7 inches tall. Anything else, no concern. It's slightly shorter, so I'm not gonna worry about anything with this. Also slightly shorter, we're good to go. So you see what I'm saying? You're just checking the height of it. And I think these appear to be, okay, that's just one. But this one appears to be folded. I don't want that. I need just the one piece of paper. So I'm going to go ahead and just, I'm going to just fold it and cut it at one time so I don't have to play with it too much. Okay. And again, rice paper is a weird animal. When it goes through the trimmer, sometimes it does weird stuff. So if you've got more than you need, just set that to the side. And again, height is all we're worried about. If you are joining us right now, we are currently pulling together our texture pack. So this guy here is, as you can see, this is just a used dryer sheet. Now you can stain these used dryer sheets with your coffee if you want. What I'm again looking at is I want to make sure that the height of this guy, and they're going to wiggle. It's just, there's no way you can get around it. So the height of this guy is longer than 7 inches. So I'm just going to grab my last paper that I know is 7 inches. I'm going to put it right on top of it. And I'm going to use my material scissors for this cut. And I will tell you, they're it's kind of a pain. So if you grab one of your papers when cutting this, you can sometimes take it. And again, make sure that the fold is there. Okay, you don't want to lose your fold. Make sure your fold is there. You're good. I'm going to bring it over just a little bit to give me some room. And I'm going to hold it between paper to cut it so that it makes it easier. Okay, so I gave myself just a little extra room so I'm not cutting my paper. And I know that the two will then be the same height. Okay, so that's my first one. This goes into my scrap pile. We're going to need it later. I know I'm very repetitive when I tell you these things, because I really want you to hang on to things for this particular junk journal kit, because we're going to be adding all kinds of great things over the course of the next few days. So, and what I mean by that is starting tomorrow, you're going to be working on ephemera. We're going to be building some snippets, and we're going to be building some other items. And I want you to be able to do those things with leftovers from today and yesterday. Okay, there we go. So again, make sure it's about the same. If so, you're golden, and we're going to move on. Put that in your scrap pile. Hey, Dora, welcome in. Hi, ladies. So lastly, I said I had one book. Can't talk today. One bag. Now with this bag, you can choose. You could cut it this way and have two pieces, or you can fold it this way and have one. I think in this case, I do want to use this in two separate things. You could even open it up. So I think in my scenario, I'm trying to decide the best route. I think I'm going to make it into two pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my cutter to the center. I'm just going to remove a very little edge on the outer side of each side to create two pieces. Now, again, you know, you don't have to use a bag, or you could even go grab your brown bags from like Albertsons or wherever you grocery shop, and you can take and use your brown bags as your texture pack. Okay, again, I'm going to the middle first, pushing out, just removing that excess. So this is going to give me 2 pages. Okay, so I'm going to also remove this end here. I just like that little doily. I thought it was super cute. Okay, so I've got 2 pages now, and this one has the little ruffled edge, so that'll be fun. So now I can fold these in half and make these as pieces for my junk journal. Okay, super easy. So anything you're using, you just fold them in half. Okay, all right, we are golden here. So we have everything we need now to start working on our junk journal. Okay, so all of those pieces are folded in half and ready for us to go. Notice some of them are definitely longer than our actual pages. Okay, and that's okay. I'm going to show you how to deal with that. Right now, you're concentrating on just the height of the page of your book. Okay, all right. So now we're ready to start getting together our signatures. Now, I will tell you, oftentimes I go straight to the pages and start compiling them. But because of the fact I'm working with you this morning, I want you to have all of the segments ready to go. So I'm going to teach you that part first. So if you would grab some of your scraps from yesterday, this would be the scraps that you use to create your book. I want you to locate those scraps. Okay? Go ahead and find those now. While you're finding those. So yesterday, we knew that our centerpiece was 1 3/4 by 7 3/8 for this piece here. Okay, that's what mine measured out as when we put it on the inside. So that is the portion that is from the indent to the indent. Today, you're going to cut a piece that is the same size as this portion here. Okay, so I want you to take and use your measurement and measure this piece here. Okay, we know that mine was 1 3/4 by 7 3/8. So that's what I'm going to cut my area here. Okay, so let's start with that. How many of you are actually crafting with me today, or are you watching today? Get my words right yet. Okay, so I'm going to start off with 1 3/4. So 1 3/4. 3/4 is the largest line before number 2. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it, and this little piece here, we know that our pages are 7 inches tall. Okay, so the width is what's important for your binder piece. You want to make sure that it's going to sit right inside of there. So it's exactly the same size as that piece that we put inside yesterday. So mine was 1 3/4 inches. Okay. Now we need this piece to be the same size as your book page. You finished your fuzz. Very cool, Mel. She finished her cover yesterday and fuzzy cut all last night. Wow, you were busy. Yeah, I haven't got all mine fuzzy cut yet. I'm getting there. All right, so we're going to do this the same height as our pages. So our pages are 7 inches. So this is 1 3/4 is the inside from here to here where the bend is of my book. So now I'm going to do the height of pages, which is 7 inches. Okay, so this is scrap, and this is what I'm going to be using for my hinge. My hinge is going to go in something like that. Okay, and this is the hidden hinge is what we're working on today. All right. All right. Kelvy says she's watching and she's working. Yes, you are a busy lady. I know. So now you can make a decision to hide your hidden hinge. So we've done ones before where like they were hanging out here. We're going to hide them this time. So in order to do that, you're going to take your inner piece and we are going to put a folded line that is roughly, it's roughly 1/4 inch in width from the outer side to the end. So the 1/4 inch is the first big line before the half, the first big line. Okay. So we're going to do 1/4 inch. And you're going to go in and you're going to do a folded line there. So if you are using a pen and a ruler, mark it and then fold it on that line. It will not be a bad thing. Flip it around and do the other side. So you're doing 2 folds, 1/4 inch. Okay. So now you're going to just fold it right on that score line. You now should have something that looks something like this. Okay? It looks something like this. Now, I have seen people do the kind that overlaps, that goes underneath the outer shell, which also helps. But this is the way that I learned how to do it. I cannot remember who taught us this. It was on a reel that I saw on TikTok, and it was really a good option to do. Okay. So I thought, okay, I will try it that way and see how we like it. So I folded it forwards and backwards so it has a crease on both sides. See that? Okay. You have a crease on both sides. This baby is going to be what hides your signature, how we put our string together. Okay. So we have done this at the height of our pages, which is 7 inches tall. So now you have a choice. You can use your scissors. You can use the top of a pen. You can use an awl. You can use a hole punch. But what I want you to do is I want you to come in from the top 1 inch. And first I want you to mark it. Okay. So to come in at 1 inch, and I mean, you could even use your trimmer if you wanted to do this. But you're going to come in 1 inch from the top, and we are going to take and we're going to put a little dot. Come from the bottom, 1 inch from the bottom, and put a little dot. Now this is a no-sew hidden seam line that we're going to be doing. Okay, it's a no-sew. But this is important to come in 1 inch, because you will find that sometimes using this type will tear out over time. So we want to give it some support. Okay, So you have your 1 inch mark. At 1 inch, we are now going to fold it upwards. So you can either come down here and use your trimmer at that 1 inch and make your score line, or you can take and, or you can take and just fold it in half, okay? So get that score line right at that 1 inch and fold. Got it? I don't want to go too fast because I don't want anybody to get messed up, okay? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut off those outer pieces. Keep your inner piece. Okay, you've got one at the top, and now you're going to have one at the bottom. Okay, so you should have something that looks something like this. This piece folds over, these pieces fold over. Okay, all right. So now we are ready to begin. This is going to be your hidden twine bind. This is the mechanism that we're making for it. Okay. All right. This little piece here is nothing more to ensure that it does not tear over time. So all you're going to do now is you're going to take and put glue on the back and put it down. Okay. It's just going to support it so it doesn't tear over time. Because we don't want our books to fall apart, right? So you've got that piece inside of it. You've got this piece that folds kind of over it. Okay. Got that? All right. So now this outer piece here that is here on the edge, this piece is now going to fold over the top of that. So all you're going to do is run your glue, because this is going to help support it and lift it up so that when you are working with your twine has a little bit of a lip in there to hide it. Okay, because twine is not flat. It needs a little lift. And you're going to see that mine is not all the way connecting. So you want to give it a second. Make sure that you've got enough glue in there. Okay. I have a little extra piece here that I'm just going to trim off. If you have that, just trim it off. But right now you're just working on making this a nice supporting piece. Now, of course, you could take and use a couple pieces of your scrapbook paper for this, but you won't have that center that's lifted up, and will give the room for the twine to hold in there. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to remove anything that I can see from the top. You don't want to see anything. So if the edges are poking out, just go ahead and trim those babies off. Okay. You have the mechanism in your hand now. Okay, so you have a folded top down, folded outer end. It gives you a nice wide berth here for your twine to sit inside. Okay, right. So now here comes the easiest part. If you have a hole punch, you can use your hole punch, your awl. If you have to poke with your scissors or an ice pick, do so. You're going to cut a hole directly in the center of that halfway mark. I'm going to use girl math and say, okay, good enough for me. I want my hole here. Okay. I'm going to do one at the top and the bottom. you now have your mechanism in your hand. It is complete and ready to be used. Okay, so it looks like something like this. Kind of fun, right? All right, so this piece now should be able to look something like this when it is here. All right, it's going to be hidden, so don't worry. All right, so now we are ready to deal with our twine. Now, to know the size of your twine, you need to pick up your pages, okay? Because everybody's pages are different. We know that we're going to be using this whole pile, right? We know we're going to use this whole pile. So the first thing we're going to do, so we know the exact amount of twine we need, is I'm just going to pull some string out because I don't want to have to fight it, okay? I'm going to go to the end of my string, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with holding it kind of with the tail hanging off, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap it 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Wherever that ends, you're going to cut that piece off, just like that. Set it aside and do it again, okay? Holding it with my thumb, little piece hanging off, wrap it 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And again, the reason I'm teaching it to you this way and saying X amount, you know, of measurement is because then you can do it with whatever you are working on from this point forward, and you don't have to worry about the measurements, okay? It is just a simple way to measure it out and make it work for you, okay? All right, go ahead and move your trimmers out of the way. Make sure you have a clean surface. All right, here we go. So now we're going to take these 2 pieces. We're going to start with getting them, hold all the ends in one hand. Okay, hold all the ends in one hand. So you're going to have one from each one, okay? And then you're going to come down to the other end and you will have one from each one down here. Okay, mine are slightly off in length. You want them to be the same length, just like that. Okay. All right. Take one end and put it directly in the hole coming towards you. Make sure that the folded edges are in the back. Take the other end and slide it into the front hole. Then go grab all your holes and pull it till it looks like this. These are in the back. Okay. So this is the front. This is the back. All right. Now you're ready to put this in your book. It is literally that simple. Okay. If you are a measurement person and you want to go and measure from top to bottom, it is about 1.5 inches from top to bottom. It does not matter. Do your girl math, you'll be fine. Okay. So for putting this into your book, I like using the double-sided tape first. I'm going to put that on the very edge. Like so. You can, in fact, put it other places if you want to. I've done it before where I put it in the middle, but I found over time that lifts up, so it's kind of a mute thing to try. I did really like, though, I don't like it to go off the edge, so I'm just going to remove some. Okay. Oop, I moved it. Make sure they stay where they're supposed to be. Okay. All right. So before you go further, make sure that you have Go ahead and varnish it. In other words, press it down. And we're doing it on the tape. And then remove that tape. So when I'm doing more than one of these, sometimes it's easier to take and grab, like you've seen me, I use these a lot. I will hold these down like this for just a moment, just to hold them out of my way. When I'm not on camera, it just gives you more, you know, more variance of moving things around. You're less likely to take and have them move. You want them to be straight, okay? And this is one of the easiest ways, because you can pull it tight now and it will take and stay where it belongs, okay? If you don't have clothespins that you can use, you might try just your little clamps for sewing, or maybe you have some chip holders you can use, or even paper clips, okay? But holding it flat will help you, all right? All right, now you're gonna take your glue, and we're gonna put glue on the inside of both of those double-sided tape, okay? I'm going to hold this to the back and remove it to put some right across the top, okay? So I'm holding it to the back. I'm going to hold this one to the back, and again, just like that. You will be able to adjust it slightly as long as you didn't put any glue behind your twine. All right, so I'm going to do girl math here. I'm going to say, okay, this is about halfway. I'm going to sit it down, and I'm just going to slide it up, locking it all in place. Okay? That will lock it in place. So now you can take and you can go check, grab your ends, pull them up, and they should be about the same, okay? If not, you can adjust them right now. So this is the hidden twine closure. It is a little different than what we normally do, but it will suffice for whatever you're going to work on, okay? All right, let's set that aside. Now we're ready to get our signatures ready. This is always my favorite part. I have to say that, because it's my favorite part of putting together the signatures. It's fun. Okay. All right. So I am going to start off with alternating. So we have our pile of our stuff, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to take your pages and you just want to fold them in half. Now, you can use your bone folder for this. You don't have to, but we're just going to kind of come along and we're going to fold our pages in half. As I do this, I am going to take and make 2 piles. Now, I did not go through and count how many pages I created for you, so there is a possibility that these pages may be off. But for right now, stack them just straight down, make 2 piles, every other one, putting it into the pile. We are going to reopen these in a minute, so just know that, I mean, it's repetitive, but this is going to give you a flatter line for your book. You will find that if you don't do this part, your pages may slip as you're putting them in. The other thing that could occur is they may be too fat and lift up your outer page. They don't lay as flat, but it is a step that a lot of people miss, and it is okay to do that, okay? So these are just your regular pages, fold in half. Every other one, we're not really counting. We're just every other one into the pile. Make sure that the top is the top, though. That's the most important thing here, is like, see how there's a lady on there? You want to make sure that your book page is facing you. You're just going to keep on doing this till you get to the bottom of your paper stack. So no rhyme or reason, no real thought. You're just getting all of your pages. And again, if you don't have a bone folder, it's okay. Use your credit card. Use your Cricut scraper. Use a piece of your, what is it called? Use a piece of your cardboard. You're just basically pressing down and it's making a nice clean line. That's all it's doing. All right. So now you have all of your pages separated into two piles. They are literally backwards at this point. Okay. You like that? I know. I really love, love, love this kind of piece. It's just very easy and it's hidden. It's not over the top. So it's a good thing. All right. So now you're ready to start assembling. So here's what we're going to do. First thing you need to do is look at how many pages you have. So we know that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pages. Okay, I have 11 pages here. My texture pack, I have to separate. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages of my texture pack. Okay, so you are now going to have 11 pages with your 9. So you will have 21 pages inside of your book, depending on how many pages you chose to add as your texture pack. Now you can do this with anything, okay? But this is how I like to do mine, okay? So the first thing I like to do is I like to grab my pages and I go, okay, I've got the whole, you know, I've got the pieces here. So I'm kind of funny because I want this to be my outer shell. So I'm going to take them and flip them over because I know that this is going to be the front and back of my signature pack. Okay. So I'm going to open this and I'm going to say, I'm going to take one thing from my texture pack. Okay. I'm going to open another page. And I might skip one because I know I have 11 pages and 9 texture pieces. So maybe skip this one and give another one and then add a piece of my texture pack. Okay, do you see how you're making some definitive choices right now? All right. So I might go one more and then I'll add a piece from the texture pack. Add another piece and a texture pack. And in this case, I'm going to swap it. So as I go, if I decide to swap it, okay, that means I need to make sure this pile matches what's here. Okay, so I did a dryer sheet and then I did them in this order. I did a dryer sheet, this, and then a book page. Okay, so I'm going to set that off to the side. because I need to know what is going in. So for this one, I want to add, say I want to add a piece of my tissue paper. So I'm going to put it in, and then I'm going to take the tissue paper and move it over, creating a pile, because I want them in the same order. Okay. So now that we've done that, we did 1 page dryer sheet, 2 pages paper bag, 1 piece rice paper, 1 piece tissue paper. Okay. Now I'm going to skip. I'm going to go ahead and go 1 page, 2 page. So I'm skipping some pages here. If that is a concern for you, what I like to do, and I've done this several times, is I will take a piece of scrap paper and say 2 pages and sit that right on top of my texture pack, because this tells me I'm going to skip 2 pages. We're going to flip this over so it'll look like this. Okay, so I'm going to just put that there as my placeholder. I'm skipping 2 pages, and then I'm going to go in and do the rice paper. And then I will put my rice paper onto the other pack because I know it comes next. Does that make sense? Okay, so now I'm going to go get another page. We have 3 pages left, and I have 3 pieces left. So now I will go ahead and put my piece there from the texture pack, do a book page, and I'll go ahead and do a tissue paper on this one, and I'm lining it up as I do it by that crease that we put. Okay, make sure it's right side up. And I have rice paper, and then the last. Now, if you get to the last one and you realize that it's going to be this in the center and you don't like it, you can always go and switch it. Okay, you can always go and switch it. But I kind of like the way that that looks. I like the fact that I'll have that whole page. This will be a full page when we get there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my texture pack with my pages, take it over, make sure you have your strings are separated. So put 1 to one side, 1 to the other. Get 1 string at the bottom. Make sure that, you know, they're not crisscrossed. Okay. And we're going to start with this page, and we're going to just tie it. So lining it up is kind of important at this point. You're going to take those strings and you're just going to line it up inside of that book. And we're just going to bring it up right to the center line. Make sure it's nice and tight, but not too tight that things are bending. Okay, you want it tight, but not crazy tight. Okay, so I have it like this. Now, if you have a problem tying and you're pulling and you're looking at it, this is what I do. I lift it up, I make it loose, and I go grab those silly clips again. I'm going to tell you firsthand, it makes not having an extra hand very helpful. Okay, because sometimes it's nice to have that extra hand, but you don't have to this way. So I'm just going to go right over left, hold it down, left over right, pull it through. Okay, so I'm just holding it with my fingers as I do this, because this way you can pull it tight. Okay, so you're pulling it tight, and then you're going to continue to pull it tight, and it's not going to lose its shape now. Okay, so now that you have that, you can remove any excess. Now, yes, you will have leftover. Throw that into your pile for another day, because we're going to use that. Okay, so that is your first signature. You officially have the first one in. Don't worry about these pages. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go get our next page. Okay, so be careful when you're moving this around, because you don't want it to come loose. You want it to stay fairly tight in here. And don't worry about the edges here. We're going to get to that in a moment. Okay, so just make sure it's in your book. All right, let's go do our pages. So I did finish off with them like so. I have it upside down, so you just flip it over and you're ready to go again. Okay, so again, taking my other stack, I'm going to flip it over because I know this needs to be my top page because I want this to be the front and back of my signature. Okay, here we go. Open. And if you're not sure of what goes next, maybe you got them out of order, you can always now go back to your other pages and you will know firsthand. Okay. So this one here, you go dry your sheet, make sure it's sitting in the middle. Page. Next page. Lining it up right on that crease. Oop, I have two of them in my hand. I don't need that. Just one is good. So this page came next. I'm kind of looking at my book as I do this just to ensure that I have them in the right order. Okay, so now according to my book, I'm skipping 2 pages. So we're going to go 1, 2, and somewhere, oh, nope, I missed something. Hold on, let me go back. So what I noticed right off is that I did a dryer sheet and then this little book page, this little bag page. So I need to go back. So I'm going to just open it real quick and go first page, dryer sheet, and then just lift it up and put what's supposed to be there. Remove things as you go, and you're right back to number 1. Okay. Remove that page. We know that we skipped 2 pages. And then we did that page. That's why it looked weird to me. I'm like, why does this look weird? Okay. Because I put this in the wrong spot is what I did. Okay. So now I have my paper here. So I know that I have another page. And then I have this page. Yeah, I knew something wasn't quite right. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. It's not what I normally do. And now you skip 2 pages and we'll be right back on target. So we have 1, 2. That was my little reminder to skip my 2 pages. Now I have my pattern paper and a page. I'm going to make sure. If you're not sure, just go look. Pattern paper, and then a page, and then I did a tissue paper, and a page, and I've somehow missed the mark here, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to put in these 2 in a row, and I'm ready to go. Okay, so I probably have a double page somewhere, but that's okay. It does not matter. Okay. So now you have that extra line. You're going to come in, line it up right inside of your book, grab that new piece there. And again, like I said, I have a big habit of using my my clothespins. I just really think it helps a lot to have an extra hand sometimes. And if you don't have one, that's the next best thing. So right over left. Make sure it's not too tight that you're bending any pages. You don't want that. Right over left, left over right, goes through the hole. This is a slip knot, and what it does is it doesn't allow things to move. Once again, I just like to come up about 3 inches, just like that. These will become extras for other things for the next couple of days. You now have your book pages. They are now inside. Now I want to make sure, sometimes I do it too tight and I don't often like it when that happens. So you're going to notice that things are going to kind of move around right now. And that is because you have not put anything into these pages yet. So they are going to kind of slightly move around. Don't worry about that, because as you fill up your book, it will get thicker and it will hold shape. Okay, so don't worry about that right now. All right. Now we're ready to begin with these longer pages. Okay, remember I said don't worry about them. We'll get to them. We're there. Okay, so this is what I do so that they hang out and they look lovely and you don't have to worry about them. Make sure that that's down in the base. And again, it will hold shape once you get all of your ephemera into the book. So don't worry too much right now. It's going to kind of wiggle around a little bit. Okay, see how I've got extra room here? Again, don't worry about it. It'll be okay once you start filling it up. Okay, so what I like to do here is I like to kind of start off and see how it's hanging out. So because that's my dryer sheet, I'm going to use my material scissors, and I'm just going to come along and trim it where it kind of hangs out a little bit. Keep that for another time. Okay, so you have a little bit of a dryer sheet dangling out. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to go to my rice paper. Rice paper is a beautiful thing that when you tear it, it leaves some really neat edges. So you can tear rice paper. Make sure you press down when you tear or it will rip it inside further. Okay, so now I've got some torn edges. See how that worked? If your edges are too torn for you, take your piece in front of it, hold it down and lift, and it will tear it back even further. But I like it, so I leave it. Go to your next page, which whatever it is you're working on. Mine is tissue paper. Tissue paper tears really easy, so you want to take and you want to press down every piece of the way. And again, save that for later. We'll be using those to decorate with later. So whatever you're ripping out, you are saving for another time. Okay, so just continue to do that all the way through your first signature. Don't worry about the second one quite yet. Do just your first signature. So you're removing any extras. And this is literally what's going to give it all those pretty textured edges that hang out of your book. Okay. So my piece of paper here, see how it kind of hangs out? I'm going to leave it because there's not much of it there. But if that bothers you, go ahead and tear it. Okay. Again, make sure you're pressing down on your pages when you're ripping, because you don't want it to rip inside of the book. You just want it to rip the width of your page. Okay. Tissue paper is a nasty culprit of moving inside of your book, so always make sure that you're pressing down. Okay, so this is a good example of a piece that didn't exactly rip the way I wanted it to. So to fix that, I can come back a couple pages, take a look at where it's at, see how it really came out, and then I can go back and rip that page. Just know that rice paper, you know, it's very finicky, so you want to kind of work it in small areas. Don't try to rip it all at once, or it's really likely to rip inside of your book. Okay. All right. My last page is this one here. I'm going to kind of hold down half of my signature here, and I'm just going to, again, rip that baby out. Okay. All right. So that oop, I have a couple more yet of my signature. So again, I'm just holding it from the center of the signature. That one kind of did its own thing. It happens. There we go. And lastly, it looks like I need to use scissors on this one. So I'm going to take and just kind of hold it gently. These are the dryer sheets. Okay. Dryer sheets. I use fabric scissors. Okay. And then we have another rice paper. And as you start moving through, you know, work from the inside. Once you get to the halfway point, kind of hold it and hold it there and pull. Because if you try to do it from the front cover, it gets too fat. Okay. And this is my last piece of that. Oh, nope, I'm already in my new signature. Look at that. Okay. So we're just going to hold it down. And this is tissue paper, so again, make sure you're pressing down where you're going to rip because you don't want it to go inside. Rice paper. And newspaper is also, if you're using newspaper, you will find sometimes, depending on how old the newspaper is, it can be brittle and rip kind of wonky too. Most things like magazine pages and invoices, they will rip fairly easy for you. It's just rice paper and tissue paper can be kind of daunting at times. So like that one there kind of tore funky. So if that happens, instead of ripping out the whole page, I just open it and just rip it from there. So because I have these pages in here, it's going to bulk out this page. So if you come across something like that and you're concerned, you can use a ruler, you can use your bone folder. I'm just going to hold my bone folder down and I'm just going to move it right up to the edge because it tapers off. Okay. I'm going to press on the bone folder and tear it there. Okay. And again, it's finicky. It's a rice paper, and I did coffee stain it, so it may be a little more finicky than we like. But to tear that edge, you really got to give it a little support behind it, okay? All right, lastly is I have another piece here. I'm just going to press it down. Same with this page here. And then I have another one of those. So you can speed it up. It's completely up to you. I will be honest with you, when I first started tearing things, I was a little nerve-wracked at how some of them, like, see how this one here kind of went to the edge. If that happens, just go and press and pull. You'll get it out of there. All right, my last piece that I have to do is that dryer sheet. So I'm going to just go ahead and go up under those pages. Try not to trim out any of our torn edges. Okay, now you have your book. Okay, and again, it's going to be wobbly at this point. Once you start adding your ephemera to it, it's going to fill and it's not going to be as movable. Okay, isn't that cool? What do you think so far? You love that? Good. I know it is a little different because this is something we're not used to seeing. We're not used to seeing our pieces in here. But as you fill this out, it's not going to have the space to move around. It's more of a book structure. Okay. All right. So now you need to decide how you want to do your front, middle, and back cover. You can choose to use any of your ephemera, any of the scraps that you just pulled out. If you have leftovers, you can use those. You can also take and you can use your, Sorry, I'm just getting all my scraps together because I've got quite a few. You can also choose to use any of the scrapbook paper, the full sheets, the full downloadable sheets as your front and back cover. Now, if this was not your primary choice, maybe it was a page for you inside of the book. Maybe there was something that you really enjoyed. It struck a nerve and said, I really like that. You can go and print an extra piece from the inside and use that as your cover. Okay, it is completely up to you. I personally really like this page here. I think that would make a beautiful cover. It's what I used as my starting point for both of these. Okay, so that would be a good option for me. Okay, but you can pick and choose whatever you want to use as your front, middle, and back cover. Okay. So I'm just going to look here real quick. I did not print extra pages of this for myself. I really do like those other pages better. I like them better than these. I think what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to use one of these as a page on here, and then I'm going to print a second page of this to put over the top and make it layered. Okay, so let's do that real quickly. Before I do that, I need to check how warm the phone is. Let's see. Hey, we're doing pretty good. It's not hot at all. I'm loving that. Okay, so in order for me to do that, what I would do is I would pull open my computer and go ahead and print a piece. I'm going to print that. While I'm doing that, please finish your pages as far as ripping things out. This is just going to take me 1 second. And we will go forward. Because I really didn't think about it till I was sitting there looking at it. And I really love the way those other pages look. That's the beautiful thing with having this as printables. You can also take and pull off, you could pull out a page of your book. Okay. So mine is pulling up. It'll just be 1 second. Go ahead and finish up as you're getting there. How do you guys feel about this book so far? Is this something that you're enjoying? Let's see. Okay, here we go. Just making sure I've got my pages in there. I do. I've got some paper. It's going to print while we're talking. This was our dun, dun, dun. Okay. So the page that I decided to use as my cover is going to be page number. I'll tell you in just 1 second. Okay. I'm just running it through real quick. And I'll show it to you again. And you can do it any way you like. It's page number 14. I'm just making sure before I print it. Oh, jeez. Gotta love it, right? do apologize. It takes it just a second before it confirms it. Okay. I'm going to print the current page. There it goes. Finally, my goodness. The things we do to make stuff work, right? All right, so that is going to print. It'll just take it a moment, but you can use it straight out of your book if you need to. You can pull it right out. The one I'm going to be using is this page here. It's page number 14. It looks like this on the front and like this on the back. Okay, so while that's printing, we're going to just keep on trucking. So for a back page to that, you can use any of your snippets of things that you've cut off. You can put those in the back, or you can choose to use any of your papers. I'm going to use a paper here just so that we are all on the same page. I'm liking this one. I think that would be pretty because it's going to go behind this paper here. Okay. All right, so let's start with that. So again, we know that it's 7 inches is the size of our papers on the inside of our book. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a 7-inch. And again, your 7 inches is shorter than this because this is actually, it was 7 3/8. So you will have a little bit of playroom. So I'm going to start with 7 inches, keeping any excess, okay? I'm going to remove that white border and make sure it's still 7 inches because that's important. It's close enough. Okay, so I'm just removing those little white edges first, and then I'm going to go 7 inches long, 7 inches high. So the paper itself looks like this, okay? I'm going to be turning it like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove 7 inches, make sure it's 7 inches long. Yeah. Okay. So again, the height of it, I'm turning it. So now I know it's 7 inches. It's got a little bit of an area around it. So for me to make it match this book page here, I'm going to go in and just figure out what is the width of my book page. And my book page itself was 4 5/8 inch. So that is what I'm going to use as my cover. So I know it's 7 inches high. So now we're going to go 4 5/8. If you don't know what 5/8 is, you have the 5 mark come back to the longest is 3 1/4. It's the second little dot before 3 1/4. So we're doing 4 5/8, which would be here. Now I want this little piece kept, so I'm going to turn it around. So this is what mine looks like. Okay, so this is going to go right on there. All right, so we're going to make one for the back cover. Hang on to this piece. I want to see, it's not big enough, so we can use another piece if we wanted to. I think for the back cover, I would like to have used that one, but it's not going to match. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a different one that is somewhat close. I kind of like this one. And I'm going to make this one the same width as this. So we know that this one is 7 inches high, and we know it's 4 5/8. Okay, so we're going to do that, and I want it to go across. I like the little band. So again, removing any white. And if you are somebody that wants both sides to match, you can. This is actually not going to matter too much because it's going to be a second layer. Okay, so we know the height needs to be 7 inches. So I need to decide. I kind of like both top and bottom, but I think I'm going to go ahead and remove about a 1/2 inch from the top so I can use this for something else. So this is now a 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to come around and do my 7 inches, which would remove a 1/2 inch from the bottom, keeping that piece. Okay. So now you have that. So we know it's 7 inches tall. So we're going to go 4 5/8, which again, go to that 3/4 mark, come back 2 little spaces, which would be 5/8. And that's what it would look like. Okay. So I could go ahead and use this as my front cover and back cover, or I could choose to make a second one. I just want to see what it looks like. So 3/4, come back 2 little dots, is 5/8. That would give me a front and back that matched. Okay. So I'm going to save those for something else. I'm debating on using this, but I kind of like the fact that they now match. So I'm thinking I might go with that. Oftentimes when you're creating these books, you will find that you really don't know what you want as your cover till you actually see it. I find that that is a real big thing with me lately, is I will look at it and go, oh, I really liked it, or no, I really didn't. But this gives me that option. Okay. So I do like that. I think I'm going to use that as my front cover and back cover. And then I'm going to use this as my border. Pardon me, this as my border. Okay. So that is what I'm going to do for mine. Now, notice I didn't really measure this piece out. Okay. So it does work. I think it'll be pretty. So if you're wondering what this one is, if you don't want yours total width wise, it is 1.5 by 7 inches. So I am going to save the pink one for something else, but for now we're going to use just these. Okay. All right. So I really wanted that other piece. As you can hear, my computer had decided to update, so it's okay. I'm just going to use these for now. I might take and add that extra piece tomorrow. So I'm going to print it tonight and then I'll show it to you tomorrow. Okay. So this is what you're looking at right this second. I'm just going to pull these over. And once again, just like we did our cover, we're going to go all the way to the edge, all the way to the edge. While you're doing this, you might consider whether or not you want to round your edges. If you do, you'll want to do that before you set them down. Shorter and shorter. It'll look something like this. Okay, do that again on the centerpiece. Now the center one, I am actually debating doing a second piece behind it so that it fits a little tighter in that space. It's something that I like the way it looks, but you may not. Okay, so I'll show you what I'm talking about as we get there. Okay, for right now, I kind of like this. I think that it'll work. I do want to add that extra piece to the top of it, but as you can hear, my printer is not printing, which means it probably went into update mode. I thought I hit the button for it not to, but life doesn't always play fair. Okay. All right. So make sure you varnish these very well. Varnish with a V, not a B. All the way to the outer edge. Sorry if I confused you. Hang on to those extra pieces. We will use them later. Okay. All right. So we know that it goes like this. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to take that first piece and I'm just going to take and remove take and remove the double-sided strips. Once you've done that, you want to go ahead and add glue between all the way to the edges. If you wanted to round your edges, you need to do that now before you get glue on it. Otherwise, you'll find it will get your devices a little sticky. And if you don't know how to round an edge without a device, you can use the edge of your thumb. Works well. You can sit it in the corner and roll it. I'm just going to leave mine straight for this particular book. All the way to the edges. Make sure you get all the way out to the edge, because we don't want this lifting over time. Okay. And again, girl math for me, I'm just going to eyeball it, kind of put it where I think is good. Remember that your double-sided glue is not forgiving, so it will not move once you set it down. But I'm liking the way it looks. I think that will work just fine for me. Okay, I'm going to turn it over and do the other side first. Oh, printer might be printing. Just started making noise, like maybe it might do it. It's been kind of testy lately. I don't know what that's about. I've updated the drivers of it, done all kinds of things. Okay, same thing. Whoop, before you put it on, get that glue on there. Okay. Make sure your book is right side up before you put on the back. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've moved things around and realized that it was not. I've had to go back and fix some things because of that. Okay, once again, there you go. So I've got my back page and my front page. And my book has pages in it. Okay. Now I'm going to do the end. So what I was saying is for this particular one, my twine has a little string hanging. For this particular one, you could put it straight in if you wanted to. I'm looking at the fact that there's a lot of room around it. So, but it's fine either way. I kind of like it that way. I think that would look just fine. So to make sure it's flat, I'm going to open my book to the center of my book and lay it flat. Okay. And I'm going to double check to make sure it's whichever way we like it the best, right? Kind of liking it that way. Okay. So again, I have it too far down, so I'm going to remove any excess from the base. You can add another strip of your glue in the center if you want to. I'm going to because I want to make sure that this baby holds up over time. Okay. Once again, varnish. Okay, and then remove any excess. Okay. And then again, I'm going to just double check, make sure it's the way you want it. That's how I want it. So I know I've got to flip it over. All right. There we go. See how it's stuck to me? Okay. So it's in the center there. I like how it looks. So now I know that it's where I wanted it. So I've got a book that goes all the way around. Okay. So I will be adding another piece to the inside of this in the back. So I will be adding this page here. We'll do that tomorrow. We're not going to do it today because I've got to finish printing it. It's something that I kind of thought about last minute after looking at it. But if you like your book exactly the way it is right now, then there's nothing wrong with that. The other thing is you could, in fact, instead of adding just another page, you can add some of the pieces inside. So I want to give that an overnight to think about that, because I might choose to add some of these pages on the front instead. Sometimes when you're building things like this, you have thoughts later like, oh, I should have, I could have. Well, we can, and you can. So give it some time and think about it. Okay. So that is your book from cover to cover. You're officially over halfway done with your book at this point. We're going to be working on ephemera tomorrow. We're also going to be finishing up the inside. So the inside of my book, I think I'm going to end up doing the pink on the inside. So the ones that I've already cut, we will be using. Hang on to all pieces, because we will make some pockets and we will make some flip outs tomorrow. Okay. So hang on to those pieces. We will use them. All right. So hang on to those. The nice thing is they're already pre-cut and ready for us. So that will work out just perfectly. Okay. All right. So again, it's going to be very loose tonight. So don't worry. It's going to be loose. Try not to play with it too much. And as we start adding our ephemera, it's going to thicken up. Those pages will in fact fill, and it won't be as wobbly. Okay. But that is your book. So let's take a look real quick. So you have your scraps from today, which will be needed tomorrow. Okay, you have scraps. Every time you do scraps for the next couple of days, hang on to them, because we will be using them. So those are my scrap pile. Oftentimes what I come along and do is I will take things like this here and just leave it with it, because they're all things that we might actually use at a later time. And if not, you'll have them for other things. Your extra rib twine you're going to need for the next couple of days. So they are all just perfectly there for you. All right. So let's talk about a couple things. Okay, so you have your book. Your book is pretty much ready to go. Are we loving that? I think it worked out well. If you are still here, give me a hello down there at the bottom. And let's discuss real quick tomorrow, and then we're going to do a draw. So tomorrow, you will need the remaining pages that you have. Okay, these are the full download printable sheets. You will need them. You will need your scissors. You will need your glue. You will need your double-sided tape. Okay, you will not need any more twine, because we have what we need right here. Okay, it's already there for you. The other thing you will need for tomorrow is your Thursday packet. Now, we did go over this. We went over this on Friday. I showed you what I was exactly going to be using, and we pulled these pieces out. So this is what we're using. We are going to be using this page of page 4. It's the little buttons. So you're going to want to cut these out and have these ready for tomorrow. You're going to be using the Journal Treasures, this little packet here. You will need this for tomorrow. All of them need to be cut out. You will be needing this page. Again, cut them all out. Okay? And then you will need these ones here. All right. The other thing that you will need for tomorrow is your lace. So one of the things we talked about last week is having some lace on hand. You will need some lace for tomorrow. Okay. I did not put that in your, in the reminder that's going out at 1 o'clock today. I apologize for that. I forgot to tell you. Hey, Sheila, welcome, welcome. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. But you will need some lace for tomorrow. If you have metal items that you plan to use, you need to start gathering those, because they will be needed for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Okay? So I'm so glad you guys like this one. Seeing how you all voted for one that was Shabby Chic, we went with Shabby Chic. That's where the idea, the ultimate decision came from. But that is the start of your book. This is the main portion of your book. We will finish the cover tomorrow. And so you will need that. Something that you might want to have on hand, if you do not have some larger sheets of your original paper that you use to cover your book, you will need to have a couple small, pages of that. These are not very big. They were my remnants. So you're looking at like 8 by about 6 is the size of those. They're about 8 by 6. Okay. So those are what you will need for tomorrow. So let's talk our hashtag weekly challenge. So for those of you who have been with me for quite a while or are new to me, and you've probably seen over time in our VIP group, let me get a drink so I can talk because my voice is doing weird things. In our VIP group, we do something called hashtag weekly challenge. That weekly challenge is pretty cool. I did not add up how many were in there. Let me add that up really quick. 18, 19, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28. That would be 16. So that would be 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 44, 45, 46, 47. That would be 14, so that'd be 44. And then that would be 50, what? 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. So that would be 67. So we'd carry the 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I'm sorry. Normally I tally this up beforehand and I didn't, so my bad. So that would be 21, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So that would be a 4 up there. So 5, 6, 7. All right, there we go. Now I've got my tally. Okay, so now I can do it. I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? All right, here we go. Let me move this over. You like that? I'm so glad you like it. Let me go to our spin the wheel. So this last week, I showed you my loaded pocket, and I created this using a template. I sell these on Whatnot, but I did show you my loaded pocket. And let me close everything out and how to put this together. I came on, I want to say that was Tuesday of last week. The reason I'm telling you that is because for your weekly challenge for the participant award, you are getting the loaded pocket with all of the pieces because it does coincide with the book that we've created. It has similar colors. All of the pages are here. What you do is you start off with the back page, just like this. You cut off the white. You're going to score or fold that piece in half to create the back piece. Then you're going to cut out the 2 pockets, and you're going to layer them, the big one and then the little one, just as you see here. Next, you're going to cut out all of your ephemera, and you're going to glue them in so that all these pieces can come out. You will want to go and watch the replay. I believe that was just this past Tuesday. I created what's called a curiosity packet. This is the scrapbook paper I used for the curiosity packet, where I showed you a really cool fold that you can do and use these pages with to create a fold out for your book. Now, let me see if, just dawned on me, I had it sitting here and I might have moved it. I'm telling you guys, I have been cleaning and moving things. When I clean, I move things around and lose things, I swear. Here we go. Okay. So, what this made right here was this. And it has all of these neat little pockets. We went over how to do this on that live last Tuesday. So you can create the same thing with your packet. The reason I'm showing you this is because this is going to be the giveaway that's going to go, and you'll have this page to use in your book as well as this to use in your book. But then you can also create this. Again, I created this on Tuesday and showed you how to do it. This was on Tuesday, and it has all the little pieces in here, more pieces here, more tags in here, and you can, oops, there's also some over here. This you can create with this entire packet. So the person getting the participant award this morning is getting both of these packets. So we're going to go and grab that real quick. And I'm sorry, it'll just take me a moment to get to your will. And I think you'll enjoy this. I think this is one of those things that will be a lot of fun. Open, says me. My devices are giving me flack today. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, here we go. So in May, I've got to pull up our current wheel. In May, you had a lot of opportunities to get points. Okay, this is what our wheel looks like. These are the items you're going to get. In May, you had 13 possible points, and that is between the VIP group and the things on the main page. Okay, our top two people that got all 13 points was Dora and Kelvy. And this was out of 10 individuals with 97 entries. So we're going to do this one first. And I'm sorry if it's a little funky. There it is. Okay, so this is for the loaded pockets and the cotton curiosities. We're going to do this one first. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3. So the winner of those is dun, 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 C Creations by Man. Let me copy that real quick. Did it take it? Yeah, okay. So C Creations by Man is going to get the first set. Now, our second, we always do a second wheel, and that second wheel is for our people who contributed 4 or more points. Let me open that. In our second wheel, we had 10 people that participated total, and we had 73 that actually made it. 73 entries that made it. No, there were only 10 individuals that were in this one. Sorry, there were a lot more in that first one. I don't know. My brain was on pause when I was putting it together this morning, getting the correct numbers. So the first one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 people with 97 entries was that first one. This is for 10 people with 73 entries. I'm looking for, there it is. So these are all the people that made it into the 4+. It's Dora Bersera, Donna Stark, Chrissy's Creations, Cheryl Brumley, Be Crafty with Bobby, Anita Kuchman, pardon me, Matthews, The Dainty Butterfly, Shelley on a Shoestring, Millen Kelvy Berry, Make It Personal Catering by Trudy, and Dora Bersera. I think I already said that, but I want to make sure. So these are everybody that made it into the 4+ drawing. The majority of you had 5 or above. 2 of you had all 13. That was Dora and Kelby. And this goes into the wild card, but you also get put into the yearly drawing, which happens in November. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And the winner of this one is Chrissy's Creations. So let's go see what she won. Because the beautiful thing about this one is it goes to the wild card. So we will do wild card. Now I've been doing this for a couple of years, so that's why there's so many in there. What happened there? That's the wrong one. Did I grab the wrong wild card? Yes, there it is. Okay, so the wild card today is going to be either the seasonal packet, a $25 gift card, or a junk journal kit of their choice. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. This is for Chrissy's Creations. 1, 2, and 3. And she is going to get the seasonal. So she's getting this packet here as well, which I have to tell you is a pretty good packet to get. So she will be getting this packet as well. So both of our winners, both C Creations by Man and Chrissy's Creations, will get a complete packet. So they can make their flip up if they want to with all of the little pieces, or they can choose to make their junk journal pieces here. And again, these had tutorials last week. I'm sorry, my brain is like fried today. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so that's for C Creations by Man and Chrissy's Creations. All right, so we've got our winners. I'll make sure to post that this afternoon. Very cool. Very, very cool. Somebody tag our girls below, tag Chrissy's Creations and C Creations by Man. You've completed your book at this point. You've gotten it to an actual workable book, and that is pretty awesome in 2 days. Tomorrow we will start working on the ephemera packet, which I've already shown you, but I'm going to show you one more time. You will need at least, your full sheets. You will need Cherished Memories page number 2, page number 1, just a portion of it, and page number 4, a portion of it. Make sure all of these are cut out, okay? You'll want to have these ephemera cut out for tomorrow. Everything else, you will have the entire weekend to cut out for next Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm going to come up, let's see here. Boo! It works. Okay, so that is the plan. So are we excited? Is everybody good? Are we having fun? That's the whole purpose, is to have some fun, right? So, all right. So I will see you loud and clear tomorrow morning at 10:30 in the morning. We will work on the ephemera side of things. For those of you who won Chrissy's Creations and C Creations by Man, I will have your items put in the mail tomorrow. I'm not going to the post office today, but I am going tomorrow. So I will have those mailed out to you. I have both of your addresses. I think I will double check. If that's changed, please let me know. And get out there, have fun, work on your books. I will see you tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning. You will have a message drop down in about 20 minutes at 1 o'clock right here on this page. It's going to give you again what you need for tomorrow, and then also it'll be inside of the group. Okay, so if you're not in the group, please join. It's a lot of fun. It's totally free. We have a good time, and we have a bunch of great women in it, so it's a lot of fun. So I can't really say that anymore. We have some men in there too. Just a few, but it is fun. All right, get out there, have fun, be blessed, have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.